Good evening, everyone. If you can hear me loud and clear, please give a wave in the comment section. Say hello. Let's know where you're joining from. Compliments of this beautiful season. This is the last Instagram live for the year, and I just thought to do the honors for this particular one. So please, if you can hear me, it would be nice to know where you're joining from. Please put it in the comment section. Today's going to be loaded with a lot of fun. We have a special giveaway. So as much as possible, be be active in the comment section. Keep typing, keep engaging in the comment section. Where do we even start from? Okay, so a very good way to start is to talk about what you're grateful for in 2024. We'll talk about the things that you're most grateful for in 2024. Like I was saying before I was cut out, what are the maybe one thing that you're most grateful for? We'll take it two ways. It's going to be two parts. What's the one thing that you're grateful for? And what's the one lesson that you're taking away from 2024? What has this year meant to you? Whether to your business, as a family, as a person, as an individual, what has this year been to you? I'll start. So for me, this year has been a year of, okay, so the testimony, the first testimony is how FDC even came to be. Earlier this year, I was just thinking about, the economy, the Nigerian economy, and how the financial advisors, they advise that you should have multiple streams of income. I mean, it just makes sense. Whatever economy, whatever part of the world you're in, really, have multiple streams of income. And interior design has been the major source of income for me. It has been the most productive way for me. That's all I do. You wake me up, it's architecture. I go to bed, it's interior design. On my contact list, you see names like electrician, painter, furniture guy, furniture one, aluminum installer. So that's been my major flow. That's been my major focus, interior design and architecture. And then this year, I just got tired really because it felt like same old, same old. I've been doing this since 2009, and I was like, God, what's next? What should I do now? What should I look into? And that's how FBC was born, really. I was just like, God, open my eyes. Let me see the opportunity out there. Let me see how I can give value, how I can give back. So it's not just about me, I'm just making all the money from interior design. I work hard, yes. I have very great clients, which I'm grateful for. I mean, I'm in business because they keep coming back, especially if you have a lot of return customers, and I just kept thinking, I was just, thinking it through. And then there was a light bulb moment. There was an eureka moment where I was like, yes, I'd gotten it. Of course, I wasn't just doing all of this by mouth. I was in deep thoughts. I was strategizing. I was thinking ahead about the future. And I was just looking at the trends in the industry. And I was praying, honestly, God, what should I be focusing on before the end of 2024? And that was when the light bulb moment came. And I just got the inception for FDC. And FDC really is the future. FDC is today. And I'll tell you why. When I started, with a little bit of FDC, I called a few of my friends, oh, what can we do? How can you assist? What's your strengths? I'm very good with delegations. I'm very good with identifying strengths and, picking and plugging, like plug the right peg in the right hole. And I'm just really grateful for all the relationships that I've formed, which is also part of what we're talking about today, which is networking for success. All the people that have committed to FDC so far, that has built FDC so far, there have been relationships that I have made over the years, and even some that I just met, by happen chance. And so that's what's informing our topic for today. How do you build your social capital and how do you network for success? Because really, you can't go it alone. I'll tell the next generation that the relationships you have around you right now, whether at the university or at your workspace or maybe family, friends, those are the relationships that will go on to become maybe a senator tomorrow, a minister of defense, minister of interior tomorrow, minister of the creative economy tomorrow. And so when you're able to build those relationships and nurture them, long term, they're going to come back and be a blessing to you. Maybe not in cash, it might be in kind. So everything's not about money. And I have also witnessed even my mentors who do things, who get things done just by social capital. They're not paying any money. They just maintain good relationships. And then when they need something, it's easy for them to say, oh, Polola, I need you to come and do this. And because I'm also very future conscious, I'm also very relationship conscious, I'm not thinking, oh, what's in it for me immediately. I'm not thinking, oh, where's the money? Where's the Benjamin? What do I make out of this? Because beyond the money, sometimes the relationships also matter. If you are feeling what I'm talking about, just give a thumbs up. Let me also know your experiences in the comment section. Share what you have also benefited from relationships. So let me continue my testimony, right? So I just called a few of my friends, I called a few of my colleagues that I know are doing great stuff, that I know we started together. I saw them in the days of their humble beginning. I know how they started. I know how they've been able to build their businesses from the ground up, from scratch. Not necessarily from nothing, but just from dedication, from hard work. And I looked around me and I was so blessed to see all of them. And they were so kind. There was not one person that I called upon that did not agree. Like everybody was so willing, like, oh, how can we help? What can we do? To pass it on, to help the next generation so they don't suffer like we suffered, or they don't go through some of the challenges that we went through. In fact, some of the challenges we went through were opportunities in disguise, but we didn't even know because we didn't have anybody holding us by the hand or guiding us through it. And so that's how FDC was born. And I'm so grateful for FDC. I'm grateful for the FDC community. We're okay with, starting small, being intimate with each other, like really growing the community and, get to know ourselves, what are our challenges, what are the things we can learn from each other. I have learned a lot from the community as well. So it's not just about, oh, I was the one that brought everybody together. No, I've been able to also learn, communicate, and, just be inspired by what everybody is doing, because everybody's doing great work, really. And I'm so, so grateful for the FDC community. So that's the major testimony. So whether I'm on a project site or not, whatever part of the world I am, I know that I am connected to the industry. I'm connected to the Nigerian design community in one way or the other because of the FDC community. And so I'd like to say a big shout out again for everyone who has been a part of this Instagram live session since we started. You're still here. You're joining us again tonight. I do not take it for granted, and I just want you to know that I do appreciate and celebrate you. So again, compliments of the season. It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful season. I'm really happy to be doing this with everyone. And like I said in my previous video, we have a giveaway, but you have to be in the comment section. The giveaway is in the comments. So if you're not in the comment section, then there's no way you're going to be a part of the giveaway. So please make sure you're active and alive in the comment section as much as possible. Type a thing or two. What has been your biggest testimony this year? What has been your biggest lesson this year? What has been your own takeaway this year? What are you going to do differently in 2025? What were some of the relationships that you made that you didn't even know that has been a blessing to you? Awesome. I just saw one testimony and I'm going to share. This person says that our biggest testimony this year is giving all to God. I can relate with this. That's the place of surrender, really. That's the place of yieldedness, where you're just like, God, take over. No longer about me, no longer about who I am, what I can do. It's now all about you. She moved out of her comfort zone. I mean, I understand what that feels like, because you can be in the same spot for so long, you're comfortable, you're used to that environment, but you're not necessarily positioning for more. So when you actually move out of your comfort zone, when you move out of your comfort zone, you get to see what's next in God, the opportunities that are out there. So I totally understand that as a testimony. It's a major one. And so well done, kudos to you, congratulations. I can't wait to hear more about your testimony. Let me quickly do the recap of all the days and of all the Instagram live sessions you've had so far this year. So I've told you the background of FDC. I was FDC formed. I was FDC birthed. I still can't believe we're doing this. I get to do this. I like to say that FDC is not built on the sacrifice of one person, but on the commitment of many. And so you are also part of the FDC community because you're here today. You're part of this live. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for joining me. So the way it started was I just reached out to one of my colleagues. It's in the Netherlands. And he was so gracious and was like, oh, fine, he would love to explore new frontiers and new horizons. I mean, he's Italian. And, the concept of artificial intelligence, earlier in the year, last year, was still a concept. Even now, not so many people are fully identified with it. And he was just so kind and willing, to say, okay, what, let me come and do this webinar for you. And he came online, we just connected like that. And then we talked about artificial intelligence, the role of AI in architecture, what you can do, how you can integrate AI into your design process, how it can help you simplify your design, simplify your process. You get to ask questions that normally you would be brainstorming about, site analysis, spatial analysis. You can now do all of that with artificial intelligence. And there's so many softwares out there. I've even lost track right now because they've even moved from just mid-journey to now doing real-time videos. So you can do real-time videos. And so now architects are even going into movie making and into the movie industry. And it's just so inspiring to see all this evolution from traditional architecture, traditional practice into artificial intelligence and what the future entails. After that, I hosted one of my friends and colleagues from way back, architect Olufa Goisa. What was that now? Okay, so Osawe was the third. That one we talked about transitioning from architecture into interior design, or rather into another industry that's not even related to design at all. It went straight from architecture into consulting. So that was the third edition. The second edition, we talked about how you can diversify your design portfolio. So you're not just thinking local, you're not just thinking Nigeria, you're also thinking about, oh, how can you be a global player? How can you spread your influence, spread your creativity, spread your capacity on a global level to the global stage? And so we talked about second with Architect Olufa Goesa. Right after right after Osawe, we then went into how you can survive in the corporate space. So we had Architect Makinde Takan talk to us about how you can survive in the corporate space. How can you position so that you can move up the ladder, and you're also not stifled with your creativity. You can actually bring value to the table. Although the competition can be intense in a corporate space, you want to make sure that you're always bringing value to the table. And so politics, internal politicking doesn't have anything on you, because you bring value to the table anyway. You're not lazy. You are top of the mind recall. When the boss needs something, you're like, oh, go to this person, because that person is going to get it done for you. Another thing that he talked about was this exodus of talents and of professionals, leaving Nigeria in their droves. How can employers cushion the effect of this massive talent going overseas? So I remember he said something that he would rather have a talent that is about to jackpot overseas, work for maybe 6 months or 1 year and put in their best, than have someone who is laid back, who's going to drag the company behind, who's not going to put in their best foot, who's not going to put in their best effort, rather. And then we now spoke with Aketoyin Lawal. That was when we talked about the role of diaspora designers in building or in contributing to the economy of Nigeria. How can designers in diaspora contribute to the economy back home? We talked about so many things. Talk about knowledge sharing. We talked about exchange. We go over there, the professors come over here, and so there's exchange of knowledge across the continent. Bringing your office, like having a branch of your practice or of your office, bringing it into Nigeria so that you can also employ Nigerians to get the work done for you. And so I remember Ketoyi saying that work follows, or rather, work follows architecture, or rather, work follows the architect. So it's where there's work, that's where the architects will go, that's where the designers will go. And thankfully, there's been a couple of construction here and there, facilities here and there being built by our government. We thank him. I'm aware they're launching one affordable housing for some residents along the Ekpe axis. So those are some ways that architects can now say, oh, how can we consult with other architects home, back home. Yeah. And so, I think that's about all we have talked so far. And then last month, we left the floor open for our wonderful FDC mentor, Afeshin Wawuru, who brought on one of his own colleagues, a senior colleague actually. It's also my senior colleague by the name Tola Alabi. And he went into how you can stay relevant, how you can maintain your business in spite of all the economic brouhaha, and how you can, still be relevant. Make sure there's profit on the table, your voice is being heard. And he said something very important. He said, everybody's doing good work right now, which is true, really. Everybody's doing good work. If you look to the left, if you look to the right, there's an interior designer here, there's an interior designer there doing great stuff. And so, what's going to stand you out? What's going to be the different thing about you? And so he talked about how you can position yourself, which is what we are currently doing, which is passing it on. In whatever field you're in, whatever it is you're doing, whatever your core field is of design, just make sure you're passing it on. Pass it on to the next generation. Teach your audience how to get things done, whether it's how to style their home for the Christmas season, how they can benefit from interior designers generally, how to select the right interior designer for the job. For those who are maybe moving houses, coming into the new year, you're moving houses. We also said we're going to do like a projection for 2025. What's going to be some of the things we're going to do in the new year? What are we going to do differently? Yeah, so for 2025, we have a couple of things lined up, and I'd really like you to be a part of it. I'm going to put the video up shortly so you can take a look, see how you can come in, how can you help us build this community. So that's FDC for 2025. By God's grace, these are some of the things that we're hoping we can get done in the new year. The first one on that video montage that you just saw is about going to the campuses around the geopolitical zones of Nigeria. So we'll go, the ones we can go physically, we're going to go there, based on logistics and whatnot. We intend to go there physically. And for others, we're just going to do a webinar with them. So we're being practical as much as possible with what we're trying to achieve with FDC. If we're saying we want to be the bridge between the coming generation and what's currently in the market, then we have to go to the grassroots. So this is really getting our hands dirty. So if this is something you would like to do, if you know someone who can facilitate a webinar, whether if your company would like to facilitate a webinar, we have a wide range of topics. There is a link for that purpose. Maranatha, if you can hear me, please help me put the link in the comment section. If it's something that you would like your university, you'd like to be an ambassador, an FDC ambassador for your university, please let us know in the comment section where you come to say, okay, you know what, I have influence with my department of architecture, I know the president, I know the head of department, and we want FDC to come and do this for us in the new year. Any topic whatsoever, from stakeholder management to project management to your mental health and well-being, we're covering a vast, we're going from this end of the spectrum to that end of the spectrum. Of course, we can't do everything in 1 year. Knowledge is progressive. We can't possibly tackle every concern or every topic of interest. But as much as possible, we are going to the universities. So tell somebody that FDC is coming to a university, to a campus near you. So if you'd like to be an ambassador, you'd like to be our voice, you'd like to meet with us, plan with us, see how we can make this happen for your university and for your department of architecture. We're very much open to that collaboration. After all, like the name implies, it's FDC, the Future Design Collaborative. So that's about the campus tour. Then we're also looking forward to hosting, or rather sponsoring, 20 students. One of the major feedback we got when we did the AI training earlier this year was that students can't afford the training fee. And our resource persons, they are being paid in dollars. They're not even paid in Naira. We pay them in dollars. And they are going to be, we have to pay them, because they are like the front line, they're the front leaders when it comes to AI. And so we get the best of the best who are leading the AI charge to come and train. But the students kept saying, oh, they can't afford it. And we did our research. We looked into what university students can actually afford for any training of any sort. And it's actually like the gap is so wide. And so if you really want to measure impact, if you really want to do this, the ideal thing for FDC would be to just sponsor students. So that link is going to be live. Maranatha, if you can hear me, please post the link for the registration if you would like to reserve a seat, because we have limited slots for best participation and for, to make the training very, very relatable and very impactful. We want to keep the class to just 20 students. So if you would like to join the wait list, the link for registration will be put in the comment section. So reserve your spot today and tell someone who you know. I mean, this is free, but you just have to show proof that you're a student, a current student, not that you graduated last year or that you're entering into the university next year. You have to show proof that you're a university student, and we're going to waive the fee for the training for you. 20 students, 20 lucky students. So that's our first gift for 2025. The other thing that we're projecting is to have online courses that will be accessible to anybody in any part of the world. So if you look at designing in Nigeria, it's totally different from designing in even South Africa or in Kenya, even though we're in the same continent, before you now take it outside Africa. And so design fits the context in which they're in. I mean, the principle of design can be the same universally, but the context of design is different per region. Even within Nigeria, the way we design in the West is different from the way design is being done in the North. And so we want to do specific and tailor-made online courses that anybody in any part of the world can relate with. So if there's somebody, for example, in Jamaica coming into Nigeria who has a project in Nigeria, our online courses, they're short courses, but they're courses that will let them have an inkling into what they're getting themselves into and what designing in this landscape is all about. How do you deal with your artisans? Artisans in Lagos, they're different from artisans in Abuja. In Abuja, you pay an artisan a fee for every second he spends, whether it's coming from there to here. And that's understandable because the areas, the districts are very far apart in Abuja. But in Lagos, you can just call someone. They know how to hustle. These artisans, they can, they can hustle better in Lagos, and so they can, make it little here, make it little there, and it works for them in Lagos. But that might not be the case in other parts of the country. So we are reaching out to professionals, captains of industry who has been there and done that, who has had years and years of experience, gathered all of that, and will try to compress their experience into 1 hour or 90 minutes of online courses per topic. So we have different topics, okay? So we have that also in the pipeline. And then finally, in the month of May, which is when we'll be celebrating our 1-year anniversary. Can you believe it's a year already? So we're going to have it physical. The venue will be communicated, but we're looking at the Madhouse in Unilag, in Yaba. Yeah, so the venue will be communicated though, and then we'll just meet, we'll greet, and then we'll sip some wine and just just mingle again. Look at how far we have come as a community. So if you have not been active, you've been a ghost member of our community, now will be the time to really, really be active, because we're not calling on people, we're calling on ourselves to, you handle this, I handle that, and then we just build the community together. The community is going to be built not based on the sacrifice of one person, but through the commitment of many. Okay, so we're going to have the meet and sip in May, and May is also the month where we celebrate design on a global scale. The International Federation of Interior Architects and Designers, that's the month where we come together to say, oh, what's the theme for this year? What are some of the ways we can, better our industry in our different capacities? So mark your calendars, that will be for May 2025. And then last but not the least, this one is very special to me. I mean, we've been talking about it. We started it last year, but it was just for Nigeria. I mean, when we put out the notification that we're having the conference, we had about 500 people sign up, and it was all online. And I'm just so comfortable with this online concept because it's also one of the core offerings of FDC. We're leveraging technology. We're leveraging technology to pass it on. We're bridging the gap through the use of cutting-edge technology, really. And so this year promises to be even more interesting. We're going to have an African Union representative talk to us about AI accessibility for Africans and for Africa. And then we're going to have an immersive AI exhibition. That one is not to be missed. It's going to be from one of the top players in AI. And then we're going to have a panel discussion talking about how we can bridge the gap between the past, the present, and the future. And of course, we're going to have a keynote address. We're going to have a breakout session. We're breaking out into 5 different groups where we talk about relevant topics. We're going to talk about project management. We're going to talk about 3D and 5D. Okay, so yes, AI is there, but does that negate the impact of your 3D Max and your, actual rendering and 3D visualization tools? We have a resource person for that. So if AI is a bit too advanced for you, we also have something for those who are actively profiting from 3D visualization. If that's your core, as an architect, as a designer, if that's your core, we also have something for you. And so many other topics, So we have a beautiful lineup, honestly. We've been working hard behind the scenes. Our January live is going to be very impactful as well, as usual. I have someone, a dear sister, coming to talk to us about key takeaways from 2024 and other things that the challenges that are actually opportunities in disguise from 2024 that you can take into 2025 and build on. Okay, so without further ado, I believe we have come to a very good conclusion for today's Instagram Live. I wish everyone a Merry Christmas ahead, compliments of this beautiful season. Enjoy your holidays. Make sure you spend quality time with your family, with your friends. Have fun. You've worked hard all this year. Throughout the year, you were making money, making the Benjamins. Now is a good time to just reflect and just be grateful. Just thank God for the gift of life. And just make sure you're in a place of peace, you're in a place of rest. And so you can also see for 2025, what are you going to do differently in 2025? What's going to be some of the new habits you want to form? What are some of the goals that you'd like to achieve for the new year? It's been a pleasure being your host tonight. Thank you to everyone who joined in and who, said one thing or the other. I hope you enjoyed your time with me. If there's any feedback you have for us, please do well, send me a DM. I'm going to respond, even if it takes me a couple of days. I'm going to get to it. Or you go to our Instagram page at the Future Design Collaborative. If you like what you see, if you like what we're about and what we're doing, please give us a follow, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and let's know how we can also build, to push the community forward. Like I said, a lot of people, there's a lot of Owambe in town this period. There's a lot of traffic in Lagos. Please be very, very calculated when you want to go out. I wish you the best in this season. I wish you all happiness, full of joy, a season full of gratitude, a season full of gifts. If I knew your address, maybe I would have dispatched a little gift to you. But I'm sure if you were part of the conversations earlier, then you must have seen the giveaways that we did, even though it was little, but it was a pleasure doing that. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for joining. It's been 1 hour of FDC and just talking about FDC, what we're about, what we are looking forward to in 2025, and how we can build this community together. So bye for now. Enjoy the rest of your evening. For those who are in Nigeria, I think I saw someone from outside the country. So bye for now, and see you next year by the grace of God. Okay? All right. Bye now.